Standing next to my great friend. It was awkward for everyone.
It's crazy. History.
It's all history. It becomes history.
Live from Rolling Loud, take one.
Live from Rolling Loud. Take one.
Live, baby.
It's history in this place.
I actually want to know did he do Amy in here?
I think he did.
He did?
He did something in here. One thing in here.
You mean like one of her joints in here? Or you saying one other thing?
I know he did something where I know she was here.
Okay, bet. Yeah, that's crazy.
Because there was something he was telling me about the acoustics in here that she liked.
I remember him saying something about the piano he recorded or some this space right here specifically.
You know that one time I was on the air and the program director came in and said, this Amy had just dropped. Like she had come out. And I knew of her or whatever, but they said, Amy Winehouse is in the city. She's walking around. She wanted to come by. But I had 2 guests already that day in the studio. And it was just like, it was one of those crazy days, everything. I was just like, we have to book it. I can't today. It was just too much. Never got another chance.
Damn.
I know.
Was that like before she?
No, it was
took off?
It was before she took off. It was when people were talking about her, and I had heard some things. I heard some music. I knew she was amazingly talented, but I didn't feel emotionally connected to her yet. Yeah. And it was just one of those days, and that changed me. Ever since then, so whenever I'm like, I'll pass on an interview, I'll stop and I'll go, wait a minute, let me make sure.
Let me see who I'm passing.
Let me see who I'm passing. Because sometimes you pass just because you have 2 other interviews booked, or because you don't know enough about that person. You don't want to do a bad job. So sometimes you just be like, I don't really know her. You know what I mean? So but since that day, I
more careful.
Word.
Hell yeah.
Because I was sick about that.
Oh
Because I wanted to become like this incredible. Like I'm a huge fan.
Crazy.
Anyway,
did you watch that documentary?
It's so good.
Oh, man. Yeah,
it is so well done.
Yeah. It fucked me up for a little while. Though.
Me too.
Like I had a crazy energy after watching, like in a bad way, that like took like a couple of days to shake.
Like what? What do you mean?
Like scared. You know what I mean? Like fearful. Like how quickly shit can
go left,
go off the rails. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to like just dealing with pain. You know what I mean? Or like handling shit the wrong way. It just felt like it's not like, it's not like, oh man, she was just, no, like that could be any of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a couple decisions away.
And just the way everybody, I know we're going on a tangent about this, but the way everybody, it's like when you're watching it in a doc and you know how it ends, it's like you'd be like, help her.
Yeah.
So you see it and nobody's seeing it and people are treating her like a commodity and it was tough to watch. It was so well done. So really good. Anyway, so we're at Rolling Loud. We're in Salaam Remi's house studio.
Yeah, thank you, Salaam.
Thank you, Salaam. So we're looking at pictures of like Amy Winehouse plaques and Nas
right
Godson plaques.
Up there.
Shabba Ranks plaque.
There's a cannabis plaque, which means a lot to me, because like
yes, cannabis.
That was a big era for me. Hip Hop Is Dead album, Stillmatic album right there. Money Talks.
Fuji La.
Oh my God.
Yeah, some good stuff in here. Anyway, so Salaam was a great friend of mine for many, many years. Probably one of my first friends in the whole business. We are at his house. Yep. And I just happened to be in Miami. And Cole is in Miami doing Rolling Loud.
Yep. And
we've been trying to do an interview.
Since the album dropped.
Well,
maybe even before then.
And I'm in Miami on vacation, back floating in the pool. And I get the text from Eve like, yo, we're in Miami, come through. And I was very happy. It all felt right.
Thank you.
It all felt good.
Yeah.
So what's happening? So tonight you go on?
Yeah.
10 o'clock. You go on 10 11, 10:45.
Yeah, I'll probably get there like...
Is this your what do you normally do before the show? Not interviews. You never do interviews.
Nah, hell no. Really, the only thing I consistently do is like, I do my breathing. Like I try to do like a meditation before I go on. Yeah.
Are you good at meditating? Because I'm terrible at it.
Am I good at it?
Yes, because
It depends on, I don't know if I'm good. It works for me. You know what I mean? Like I have a
thing.
A style and a technique that I use for myself.
Like you make people get out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Breathing.
Yeah. But what I do in the room before a show is different than what I do at home. You know what I mean? It's just like, before the show, it's like, I just need 5 minutes. If I can get it.
Yeah.
I'll take 10, but I'll take 3. I just got to do something to like
clear
my head.
Some people probably call that prayer. Because it's like a form of prayer,
I do that
right?
too. I do that
Yeah.
separately.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably. Yeah, I do them separately. I actually do it at the end.
So wait, are you like, because I've heard you say this, but so you like meditation has like become a thing, like a regular part of your life? Like you do it all the time?
No.
Oh.
This is. I think people think that, like, because I've had somebody talk to me, they're like, oh man, they think that like I'm a big.
Right. Like you meditated before this interview.
Yeah, I actually did.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but even that is misleading. I do it when I get a little anxiety. You know what I mean? Or a lot of anxiety. When there's like a stressful situation. That's what I don't like about myself is like I want to become disciplined to where it is a part of my life every day. When things are like good or things are like a little stressful. So like I haven't done an interview in mad long. So like before I come up here, I'm feeling like I'm excited, but it's also like, oh, it's a little nerves. Like it would feel like before I go on a big show or something.
That's so surprising to me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I would feel the same way on my side of this. So I'm driving here. I didn't expect to do this interview, so I'm not all the way as prepared as maybe I would have been had we planned this. So me, I had the same thing. Mine, I translate it to prayer or whatever. Maybe I don't call it meditation, but it's the same thing. It's like just make sure my intentions are good. Just make sure that somebody's walking with me. He's walking with me to whatever I'm doing, and then that's kind of like it. Then you kind of got to let it go. So it's probably a similar thing.
Well, to meditate, I do that. The prayer, I should have did that before this too, because it's just
did
like
it
a
for both
show
of
where
us,
I basically state my intentions and like ask for like guidance. Like, yo, I know these words. These people paid hard-earned money to come to this show. Let me nail everything. Let me try things I haven't done before. That's a prayer. Like I'm asking for like guidance and like help in that area. The meditation for me is more like being present. I'm not trying to think anything. I'm not praying about anything. I'm just still observing. So if my mind is racing, and it might be nerves, or it might be there's a bill due, or it might be this is happening in the family, I'm noticing it, and I'm trying to
let it go.
Let it go, but also not fight it. Bring my attention back to like my breathing, something that's currently happening, the sound of that fan. I just listen and try to like focus on that. And what you'll notice is like my mind will start going to something else. Like, oh, my mom said something on the phone, boom, boom, boom. And I'll start thinking about that. And I might go on a 30-second trip on that thought. And then I catch it like, oh, look what just happened. It's fine. Let me bring my attention back to that fan. Something that's like present moment. And like, I want to become a person that does that every day. Not just when like I feel anxiety or I feel stress. Because I'm like, yo, I see what it does for me in those moments when like things are like stressful or like I'm feeling anxious. It settles me. It brings me like back to the current moment. I can't imagine what it would do for me
if you did it every day
on a Tuesday in the crib. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine. Like I feel like
we gotta get there. You gotta get there. You
sure.
inspire me. I just learned something from you just now, because I get anxiety about meditation because I do that. I travel, my brain starts, and then I get frustrated with myself, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Oh, like I'm doing this wrong.
I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And then I get aggravated, frustrated, and then I don't want to do that again. And so I don't do it as much as I should. But giving yourself the like freedom to just kind of say, I got that. Okay, but let me. I'm gonna try it that way
like
next time.
It's supposed to be like when you start meditating, that's supposed to happen. All it's showing you is that, and all it's showing me and showing all of us is that like I'm not in control. I'm letting my mind like run the show, which is fine. I don't want that to happen for myself. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like a slave to my thoughts.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to, and I feel like that's how I've been living my life.
Yeah.
Being like a slave to like my thoughts. And 98% of my thoughts ain't even my thoughts. It's something I seen on Twitter, heard on TV, something my mom told me when I was younger, something somebody else said me. So these thoughts are like fears and worries or like just ideas from other people. And it's like, that stuff is controlling me.
Yeah.
In a meditation, and I'm talking about it as if I do this all the time.
No, but it still doesn't matter.
Okay,
It's
cool.
somebody like me who only does it once in a blue moon and wants to. You're more advanced than me, so you get that.
So
You're already more advanced than me.
Cool. So it's like, if you catch yourself doing it again, just enjoy the fact that you can even recognize
and
that
bring it
it's
back.
hard.
Okay.
Yeah, like, oh man, like this is hard for me. It's okay. Let me just bring it back.
It's all weird today. Everything today happens like has happened for a reason. So even we were talking about this earlier, our last interview, right? So we did this interview that it doesn't go away. Literally, my timeline, there's always a clip of that interview that pops up. And that was what, 2 years ago?
No, that was 20.
3?
End of 2014.
I'm terrible
yeah.
with time.
It was
I don't know.
Three,
It could have been 2 or 7. I don't know.
it was 3
It's definitely
years
a long
and like
time ago.
5 months ago. Something like that.
People pick clips and they rerun it all the time. And it's probably one of my favorite interviews too, because I feel like in this, I feel like a lot of people do interviews now with with an agenda or a purpose, or and I feel like that day we just we were present. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And I don't feel like you get that in conversations with artists much anymore.
Yeah. Why is that, you think?
Well, because I think there's a lot of people that are doing what I do, and I think people are trying to get the best soundbite, or they're trying to get the best moment, or they're doing it for other people, or I'm guilty of it. I'm like, I'll be thinking of what my audience wants to hear from you, or what my assistant, who's a super fan, might want to, and so then I'm already plugging my brain into other people's. So it's the same thing that what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So that comes into everything, even interviews, even just moments of conversation. But I feel like for some reason when I'm talking to you, I'm able to like put that shit aside, which is good.
That's good. And I feel like I'm no good at, part of that reason is because I'm no good at the other thing. Like, and sometimes I would think like, man, that's to my detriment. Like, I think there's certain artists who can like come into a interview and
with
they
an
know
agenda.
They know
sound
all
bites.
the points. It don't matter what question you ask me, I know the things I want to say.
I hate those people. I hate those interviews. I don't hate those people.
Yeah.
I hate those interviews.
Man.
I hate those.
So a
But
part of
you-
me is like respects it because it's like, yo,
No, it's a craft.
You look at this like it's a game.
Yeah.
And how can I, it's
Yeah.
manipulative, you know what I mean? And in that
Yes.
sense, it feels wrong. But like, I respect the fact that at least you got good at it. You know what I mean? Like, you at least got good at it.
Yeah.
I'm
Terrible.
terrible at that. And it's like, I'm almost like, I realize like I'm a dangerous interview because it's hard for me to lie. You know what I mean? I can't lie. And not only is it hard for me to lie, it's hard for me to not go in on the whole truth. Like once I tell you
Yes.
something,
This is
I
why
gotta
we
make-
love you.
I
This
gotta
is
make
why-
sure you know
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about and give you the full perspective, even when it might be something that's like, I didn't really mean it. So I feel like it's because I open myself just by sitting in this chair. I'm wide open and vulnerable for like whatever you ask me, and then it's gonna shift the conversation as opposed to me coming in like, all right, I know I'm gonna take this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I gotta
have no clue
promote
what
this.
is about to be.
I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have no agenda.
For sure.
I don't really have an agenda too. I mean, there are some things that I've wondered about since, because I didn't see you last album, and I obviously haven't seen you since you dropped this album. So there are some things that just from that place that I wonder about. And I brought you some little facts, which I think are cool, and I wonder if you care about
Okay,
this. So
cool.
this is the I mean, I don't have to go through all of them. I mean, Billboard records, Spotify, you broke the Spotify record, 64.5 million plays on Apple Music. You beat Drake's views. That held the record before that.
Wow.
36.6 million plays on Spotify. He beat out, I guess, also Drake, More Life. Do you hear from Drake when something like this happens?
Yeah, he texts me. He says, "I hate you." Nah.
You ain't shit. I'm coming for you.
Yeah,
I'm coming for my
just
crown.
wait. Just wait. Nah. I don't hear from him.
Do you pay attention? Do you care about things
People
like this?
send me those things for sure, and even worse than that, when I put the album back up,
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram now. Like just to post the
I
album on
know,
Instagram, like
you
I'm on
are.
there. So like I see, I see the stats that come through. So I
How
see
are
those
you on
things.
Instagram?
I'm trash. on Instagram.
No, I mean, how are you feeling since you've been back on Twitter? First of all, let me stop you and say that I love that when you first got back on Twitter, one of the first things you did was like big up Cardi.
Oh yeah, that was dope. Yeah.
That was so dope because
Yeah.
was such
I
a
love her,
vulnerable, like she was fighting for this position, and you could tell she was vulnerable, and you just like came in. It was like a Twitter hug.
Yeah,
You
I don't
know
know
what
if
I'm
I hope she received it right, but my point was like,
No,
I just
she
seen-
did
I
receive
seen
it
her-
right. I saw her
Okay, cool.
repost it.
Yeah, I talked
Yeah.
to her in person too.
Yeah.
But I just feel like people give her so much advice that it's like, I didn't know if I was just another, I don't know her like that. So it's also like, yo,
Right, you don't know if she fucks with you or what,
yeah.
right?
And also like, who are you to be giving me advice? But I saw her interview and I just seen like, damn, they putting mad pressure on this girl to try to beat herself. Like she had like the #1 song in the country. It was the biggest song last year. And it's like, I just saw, and people like, oh, what, people were like, well, what's next? What about the album? And it's like, I know what it's like to be in those shoes. And it's like, I want to just say something that's like, yo, you already won. You know what I mean? Like, you could drop an album that don't do nothing, which she didn't. She dropped the album and it killed. But it's like, even if you didn't, like,
You
you
already
already
won.
won. And it's It's not the end all. Like, you can come right back, basically. There's no
Drop
rule.
it and repeat is what you said.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really, really dope. It made me happy.
Word up.
And I was like, yeah, Cole, and he's back on Twitter.
Yeah, and then I disappeared for mad long after that, but it's cool.
Yeah, where are you with social media? How are you like, I don't know, just positioning that in your life to make sure it doesn't change you or make you weird?
I'm trying. This is what I realized, because I took a long break from it. Mm-hmm. And then now that I'm back on it, I realized that some of the same stuff that I didn't like about it before, not because of other people, but because of myself, things that I see and make me feel a certain type of way, boom, 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 I noticed that, like, the break didn't do anything.
It's still there.
It's still there. So I realized that, you know, there's things that I beat in my life, like things that I had to, like, overcome just to, like, be a better person for myself. Like, yo, I don't like the fact that I'm doing this. Let me stop doing it. But guess what? It's not just as easy as like, oh, let me stop. No, it's hard. You know what I mean? And those things I attack head on, like putting myself in situations where it's like, let's say drinking, right? I'll just stop drinking. It's not that I won't drink. Like, if it's your birthday,
we're gonna
and I'm with you,
yeah,
Cole, have a drink. I do it. It's not like, no, I just don't drink. But I noticed I was in a point in my life where it's like, I felt like I had to. Like, whenever I was going out, it was just natural. Oh, just let me get a drink. Let me get a drink. We on tour every day. Let's get a drink. Which seemed inconsequential to me, right? But then I started to notice around the time I was like, yo, what am I doing this for? Like, why am I doing this? And then tracing back all the things in my life, that where did it start, where my childhood, where did it come from? And I was like, let me stop doing it. And it was my man's birthday. This was 2015. And I was like, I'm gonna just try tonight. I'm gonna go out, I'm not gonna drink. And this is like unheard of. You know, in my life, it's like, yo.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like,
right.
I would never even would have thought the day would have came where I would have stopped drinking. Because to me, it wasn't a big deal, you know what I mean? But this is when I noticed it was a big deal. Because when I tried to go out that night and, like, not drink, I could feel the pull and the tug. It wasn't like I was like, yo, I ain't drinking no more. And it was like,
Cool.
oh, easy.
Yeah.
No problem. No. I felt the pull and the tug for mad long, like putting myself in these situations. And when I noticed that pull and that tug, that like, that my body, my mind was telling me like, yo, and then I was like, damn, I want to like have a drink. That's what let me know like, oh, like something's there, right? So I say all of that to say, I kept putting myself in situations or finding myself in situations where like I would want to drink. And this is a small example I'm giving you because it's kind of inconsequential.
I feel really guilty that there's Jameson in my tea right now.
You on vacation.
I know.
Don't forget that.
I'm like, did I feel a pull to put this Jameson in my tea?
No, my bad.
No,
I'm
it's
not
okay.
trying to feel like that. I'm just, I'm saying that to say, I didn't like how it was making me feel. So I attacked it head on. I kept finding myself in situations where I would want to do that, right?
Yeah.
And every time I said no and was successful, I felt more empowered. Like I felt like I was beating whatever this little thing was that had this like pull on me, right?
Yeah.
Every time I would say no. But I feel like it's because I put myself right there. This is a very long explanation for social media, but it's coming around.
No, I get it.
I got stronger because I faced it head on, like and empowered myself through every time I was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like something, you know, it's my man wedding or something. And I'm just like, nah, I'm somewhere where it's like, yo, you gotta take it. I'm just like, nah, I'm not drinking no more. I got more empowered, like, and stronger, right?
Right.
I say with social media, I was off it for so long that I thought that like, oh, I had beat this addiction. You know what I mean? Like I had beat this thing. And then I got back on it and I realized like, oh, nah, you just took a break. I didn't face it like head on, you know what I mean? And I know I'm putting a lot
How do you do that though?
How do I face it head on?
Yeah.
I think I have to, I'm dealing with it right now.
Yeah, you haven't figured it all out.
The fix in the past would have been like, I'm just getting off this shit. I think the fix right now is like, no, let me get on it and figure out to become conscious of the pull or the feelings. The same way when I was in the party or at my man's wedding or wherever I am, where it's like, yo, I gotta have a drink when you want. But I've already made a personal decision that I'm not gonna do that. I gotta feel that feeling. And then the more aware I become of that feeling, like the more I'm in control and I'm like above it as opposed to being like a slave to it or pulled by it, right?
Yeah, no, I get it.
So I feel like with social media and just my phone in general, but really social media since I got back on, it's like, what is this pull to like, why I keep checking this shit every 5 minutes? Like every 10 minutes, what am I checking? So it's like noticing that, being in the crib, being at the show and noticing, catching myself, being aware, same way we talked about the meditation in the beginning, just being conscious of the fact that like, yo, there's an urge right now to pick up my phone. And even if I wasn't on social media, we had like a group chat, like a WhatsApp group chat that we got.
Right.
I had to get out of that for a minute.
That'll
I felt
get
the
you
same
too.
thing.
Yeah,
but now I'm
that'll get
back, I got the same thing with that. I'm back in the chat and like I could see, yo, this is pulling me. Like this has control over me. And these things seem like
And you're an evolved human. Imagine for like, you know, a young person or kids who grow up in that and don't even know a way to not be on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like
100%. Like I know life without it.
You know life without it. And also you're like a thoughtful person to even think about yourself and how you're acting. You know, if you're a young kid and this is all you know, it's like, how do you pull yourself out of that? You can't. It's like impossible for them. It's not impossible. It's not impossible.
But somebody has to tell them.
Yes, agreed.
That there's even something. Somebody has to make you aware that something's even pulling your strings. That's what I don't like. I don't like something pulling my strings. I want to be in full control. If I'm making this decision, it's because I'm consciously saying, yo, I want to do this and I'm okay with the repercussions.
Right.
If social media, I don't like the repercussions. I feel like I'm wasting time. I feel like I'm allowing other people's thoughts to become my thoughts. I feel like I'm diving into other people's business. I feel like there's good from it. I feel like it's a news source. You know what I mean? It's like communication. I feel like there's positives of it, but the negatives I don't like. So it's like, it's on me to say, let me get back control of this. You know what I mean? And I said all that to say, I don't think the answer was letting it go. That's what I did before. I'm gonna just get off this.
Because the problem too, Cole, is that when you let it go, it's like, you know, you have a powerful voice, right? And so it's like, we don't hear that then until the next album comes. If you're not communicating with people and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember you popped up, I think it was a Colin Kaepernick thing, you popped up for that and you pop up here and there. But I just feel like you have something to offer people that is needed.
Do you think that stuff makes a difference?
What do you mean? When
like
you chime in on something?
Stuff. If I come in and I say, yo,
I do. I think you're one of the few voices that it does. Because you are so thoughtful about how you use your words and the things you put out there. I still think you would be thoughtful when you share on social. You know, it's not like you're just out here just willy-nilly, you know what I mean, spewing your random thought of the second. Mm-hmm. But I think when you do have a full thought and have something to offer that, I think it's important. I think it matters. I think you are one of the few voices of this generation that actually it matters to people. We talked about that even from our last interview. They're still pulling clips about your thoughts about attaining happiness and, you know what I'm saying? True. It matters. You have to feel that, no?
Feel which part?
Just like that response. I don't want to call it a responsibility. Just the power of that.
I do when I'm making the music and when I'm coming up with a concept of an album or in the midst of writing a song. That's the best feeling when it's like, yo, I know
they need to hear this.
This is gonna help somebody. It's gonna resonate with somebody.
Yeah.
I forget that once the album drops. And once I go live my life.
Because you be off the you don't talk to people.
Yeah, for sure. I forget. But there are reminders. This album has been a lot of reminders of like, oh.
Like what? What has been the biggest thing that people resonate? Because there's so much. There's addiction and just all types of.
For sure. But the things that make me the happiest or like, have me like, wow. There's a few things. One, and I guess it's the advantage of being on IG. Like the night the album dropped, I got this real long, super long, direct message from. He was literally. I'm new on Instagram. I ain't even been checking DMs. You know what I mean? This is new for me.
Right.
It's literally like the first one I clicked on.
Who is it?
I don't know. It was just a random dude, and it was after the album dropped, maybe a few hours. And, you know, the album dropped like 4/20, the night of 4/20. So this might be 4/20, like it might be that Friday at like 2 a.m. or something, right? The whole message from him is like, bro, this shit is long as hell. But I'm trying to like summarize it for you. Basically like, bro, my mom died last year. She was an addict. For years before she died, I probably told the story in the wrong order. But for years, before she died, she was kind of like mistreating me in a way. I guess like she kept breaking his heart. You know how it is, like when you got somebody in your family that's like, you love them so much and they just choosing this thing. It feel like maybe they choosing this thing over you. He just kept getting his heart broke. And the people around him was telling him, you know, other loved ones that he had, like, yo, bro, you just gotta let her go. Like, she'll come back to you. You know what I mean? She'll come back around, but she just gotta deal with this shit. Like,
And she passed.
Yeah, you shouldn't just keep getting your heart broke.
Right.
So he let her go. He let her go, like, you know, I guess like stop responding to her, stop answering her calls or whatever, I don't know. And she died. And it's just like, he's just like, you know, as you can imagine, probably blaming himself, probably blaming the people that told.
Probably medicating himself in some
So
way.
he tells me this. He was like, bro, this is 420. He was like, bro, I just bought so much weed and so much pills. He was like, just because I'm like, fuck it, it's 420, I'm about to numb myself. Like, I just don't want to feel shit. He was like, bro, I just heard your shit. And he was like, I realized I'm doing the same thing that she was doing. Like, this is how I've been dealing with the pain. Like, I just been numbing this shit and not like hitting it head on. And he was like, I realized I'm just following in the same cycle that my mom just did. And I've been holding on to all this shit.
This was like immediately after the album
It
dropped?
was out, like literally, the nigga was like, yo, I was about to smoke right now and pop these pills right now. It's 420. Like, anybody that's a smoker and like, they know that's their day. That's their holiday.
It's a holiday.
He racked up for the day. You know what I mean? He's like, yo, I just bought something for the whole day, maybe for the whole weekend.
Wow.
And he was like, bro, he was like, I'm, you know, and I'm not saying like, and I'm not gonna tell myself like, oh, this kid's life is forever changed, because that's not how addiction works.
Yeah.
He told me like, yo, bro, I'm done with this shit. I'm putting this shit off. But I know how it works. He might have did that for a day or two and might have, you know, slipped back. But just the fact that entered his mind of like, yo, that never crossed his mind before. Like, yo, I'm running from this shit by going to this. So that was the first thing. There was a lot of other things, but in particular, there was a friend of a friend. I know her, and we cool too, but she's more, you know, she's like best friends with a mutual friend. And she called her friend, like, crying because her little brother, after hearing the album, opened up to her, had the first conversation he's ever had with her about like their mother's like addiction and like how much that shit has been like eating him up and bothering him. And it's like just like, and she was just like, yo, he had to be like 13 or 14 or something. And it's just like, yo, or maybe younger, I don't know his age, but just like, yo, he's never spoken a word. It's like an elephant in the room that nobody speaks about. You know, it's like he spoke about it because he realized like, yo, whatever he realized and whatever he took from the music,
It moved him.
So it's like those moments in the, you know, I get
That's
in the
amazing.
beginning. It's like I get little messages or like words, or somebody will text me and be like, yo, I learned stuff about people I didn't even know. Like people that I know and I never knew that about them.
Yeah.
Once they hear the story, it's like, yo, I just want to let you know, like, my mom's an alcoholic and I've been dealing with this, and like they never had a space to like get it off. So that type of stuff is making
That's
it to me.
amazing.
And in those moments I remember. But
That's amazing.
and then I just forget.
Yeah, because you're human. Because
Yeah,
you're
it's
human,
like-
and you have a life and family.
Yeah,
and
it's like
kid
I say I don't walk around every day like, yeah, man, out
My
here
voice is so
changed a lot.
important. Yeah.
no, but when I hear that, I'm like,
You're reminded.
because in those moments
Yeah.
of writing it,
Yeah.
that's my hope, that's my intention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So when you do share stories that are that personal, I mean, you're talking about your mom, and you're like very honest in the album. Do you have to tell her? Do you give her a heads
I
up?
told her I gave her a heads up.
How does she respond to that?
She's fine with it. The thing is though, when I came into the game, like a lot of people like started listening to me on the first album. You know what I mean? Which I talk about some things on the first album.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, there's a whole gang of people that know like that first album is like, you're late if you're there.
Yeah.
So in the beginning stages, Warm Up, Friday Night Lights, I was saying things. These songs were from, and these feelings and these words
You've been dealing with since then.
I was saying before I even got signed, and then shortly after I got signed. So before I was aware of how many people will be listening,
Yeah,
right?
it's different when you're saying it to a small platform.
Yes, when I was just like, it was more like therapy than it was like show and tell to the world.
Right.
It was like, yo, I'm gonna get this off. My homeboy's gonna hear it. I don't mind if y'all know, it's cool. Like, it's just how I feel. This is just what I was going through, you know? And so once shit started getting bigger, so back then I wouldn't even say nothing. I wouldn't tell my mom, you know what I mean? Like, she told me something one time back in the days, and I took that as my past. She was like, look, my story maybe can help somebody. You know what I mean? And I'm not ashamed of nothing. So like, tell my story. She told me that years ago.
Oh, wow.
Like, don't be afraid to tell my story, right? But I don't even think she knew how big it could get.
Right.
So I say that to say, like, now that it's gotten this big, I had to call her and just be like, Mom, you know, I'm telling this story. Mom, this is about this era. This is what I mean when I say
Do
this.
you talk to her about it before? You know what I'm saying? Are you guys already have clarity about those feelings and your thoughts?
Yeah. This isn't that specific situation,
Yeah.
I never talked to her about because I didn't even remember, like, the music brought the situation
memories
back.
right.
And the words started to paint that specific scene.
Right.
So I never talked about like, yeah, Mom, you remember when boom, 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 because it just was never on my mind. But we've had mad conversations about the past and like pain and her way of dealing with pain, with that, how I felt when that was happening. You know, where we at now compared to where we were then, you know, it's like, so not that specific situation.
And she was okay with sharing that?
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah. My mom's a G, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Has
brave.
to be. It is
It's
brave. It is
You know what I
brave.
mean?
It is brave. And so who is Kill? Who is
Edward?
Who is Kill Edward?
It's some artist,
Is really that what we're going with? Are you really sticking to this? Are you really sticking
he's
to
just
this?
this artist. He's fire though.
No, but he's you, Cole. He is what is like a person.
What do you mean he's me?
He's you. He's like a person inside of you. What is he like? A child in you, or you're not, or you're not ready to.
Nah, he's me.
Thank you.
Let's
not let this be weird.
I wanted to make it weird at least for 10 seconds, just to say I did it.
Oh,
Oh, that guy.
oh. So who is he?
Um,
And I read something that your stepfather's name was Edward or something like that.
yeah. Yo, people are crazy. Like, I don't even know how they know that, but
They
yeah,
know
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So is that from that or?
So I'll tell you how it started. Yeah. But it first started from about after Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah.
I started feeling like J. Cole, which sounds weird even saying that in a conversation. J. Cole.
You love to talk about yourself in third person.
Right. That name,
Right.
I started feeling like it was like a box. You know what I mean? Like, I had told so much of my story from the come up, the warm up, Friday Night Lights, first album, Born Center, Forest Hills Drive. It was always about me, my aspirations, my goals, my dreams, my pains. It was a box.
Yeah.
Like, I started feeling limited. I had been telling my story for so many projects, so many songs.
And then there's an expectation. And
Yeah, expectation, but it's also like, yo, I don't want to talk about myself no more. You know what I mean? And like, which eventually would birth For Your Eyes Only. I didn't know, it wasn't like I was aware. Like, I don't want to talk about myself no more. I'll do it for you. All of this was like subconscious. But another thing that came out of that was I started like experimenting with this music, like the production, my voice, and I started doing these songs in this Kill Edward style. I didn't even have a name. I just had the songs.
But how you name him Kill Edward Styles?
Well, I needed a fire name. I
Right.
needed a fire name.
Right.
That's the first, it checks that box. It's
Okay.
a fire name, Kill Edward. And then secondly, it just represents like, I feel like not kill him physically. I actually haven't had no problem with the dude. Like, I would speak to him today. I'm actually, thinking about like, man, I need to go find this dude, like, and have a conversation with him. But
Because I wonder if this has reached him. It would have to, right? I would imagine.
I don't know. Well, maybe now.
Right.
But when I say Kill Edward, what I'm talking about is like the shit that I feel like I inherited from him. Like, there's aspects of myself, remember I told you earlier, shit that I feel like I wanted to overcome and beat. I feel like, I got that from him. It's some like, it's some shit in me that's like, I don't like it. That's the shit I want to kill off. You know what I mean?
How old were you when he came into your life?
Young, mad young, like
yeah.
5 or 6.
I just have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people. My son has a stepfather in his life. Is great to him, thank God. But
Awesome.
I know a lot of people, I have friends who have newly married and they have these men and these boys' lives.
Yeah.
And it's a challenging like relationship. It can be a challenging relationship.
Very important.
Yeah.
So that's awesome that your husband's like a positive force in their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, it's such an important.
It's not an easy thing though. You know what I mean?
For sure. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing. And so I wonder, like, for you, was that part of it, or was it abusive? Was it just bad?
It was
You know what I mean?
it was unhealthy for my mom and for us.
Got it.
And you know, I don't want to like bash this dude, because I understand now that like whatever was happening, he was going through
What he was
going through,
100%.
which comes from whatever in his life that happened. You know, I don't even know. I know a little bit about his life, you know, just from like clearly being around him all them years, but I don't know the traumatic shit that he went through as a kid that like caused him to be X, Y, and Z. You know,
But you know how it affected you as a young boy.
for sure.
Right,
So
yeah.
I know, but just to answer, so I say that to say like I don't want to throw this dude under the bus, but that shit sculpted me and like, you know, and had a big effect on my family. So to answer your question, what was it like? It was like I was having a conversation one time with my man. You know, he was talking about his stepmother, and it was just a ill conversation because I'm hearing him and seeing my situation, then I'm talking to him about my situation. It was like, it was just a great conversation. And the insight, not even the insight, the way I related to him when he was like, yo, I felt like she like stole my light. Like she stole my light. Basically what he was saying was, before she came around, he was in the crib free. It was just him and his pops. He was in the crib free. And then when she came around, certain things she ain't like. He said like he would go to the bathroom. This is a wild example, but it's just shit that happens and it sticks with people.
Yeah,
it just shows you like, yo, nothing's too small. Mm-hmm. No type of like pain is like too insignificant because that shit sticks with people and like bothers them. And this is a small example of like probably the other shit that was happening in his house, but it just shows you like he was saying like when he would go to the bathroom, she would tell him when he comes out the bathroom like, yo, you're peeing too loud. Like I can hear you.
It's not nice.
pee. And it's just like,
That's foul. There's no excuse for that.
no excuse for that, right?
Nah.
But you know, but what does that do to you as a kid? Now that's just one example.
Right.
There's mad other shit that he said.
They would have to be. Right.
Now you in your crib walking on eggshells. This is your house.
Yeah.
You with your father who you love. It's your house. Now all of
You
a sudden,
afraid to pee.
You afraid to pee, let alone just be yourself.
Yeah.
So the way I related to that was that like I felt like him being in, when he came around, I feel like me and my brother, I just retreated. Like when we moved and I got my own room and me and my brother wasn't sharing rooms anymore, I just started like retreating in my room.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really even want to be in the house. And I say that to say there was parts of him I liked. He was cool as shit to me. Like, you know, like it was like good and bad.
Yeah.
Like on one hand, like I kind of looked up to him. I wouldn't tell him that. But on the other hand, you know, he was putting his hands on us. It's like, yo, at the time, I was young, and it was just like, this is just what it is. You know what I mean? But as I got older, I just realized like,
That shit is whack.
yeah, like, bro, you're not my pops. Like, why you put your hands on
And
me?
you should never put your hands on my mother.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
And that was the worst too, because I was mad little. And it was like, it would be situations where it's like, you know, it was nothing I could do. And I wanted to do something and just felt like, just fear, scared of this dude. And being little as hell at the same time. This dude had muscles, guns. And I'm just like, you know, that shit was the worst feeling. So you got to live with that, grow up with that. But point being, I feel like self-confidence maybe wasn't like, I didn't, you know, it wasn't nourished. It wasn't like, it wasn't healthy. So on top of other little things I feel like I was affected by, when I say kill Edward, it's like cleansing myself of that of that traumatic experience.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
get
mean?
that.
Hell yeah.
So, you choose Kill Edward, but nobody else to be on the album. Why nobody else on the album?
I just don't work like that.
Because nobody's worthy.
Yeah, nobody's worthy. But
Right.
that's the stunt, and that's not true.
I know.
That's just rapping
I can
shit.
tell when you're in rapper mode because you have to. You're a rapper. We want
Yeah.
that. We want that, by the way.
Yeah, I realize people do want that.
We want you to talk that
Yeah,
shit sometimes.
Because when I say that, we played it at the show. Then when that line came up, niggas ain't worthy to be on my shit. The whole crowd was like, oh, like,
They love that shit.
That's right.
They
So it was
love that
yeah,
shit.
But no, in reality, mad people are worthy.
Right.
But why? To answer your question, I just don't work like that. I don't work.
Really?
I don't work like. I mean, I work in a closed off space. I'm very like self-contained, and
Yeah.
I like it like that. And not saying I'll never become a person that operates the other way, but I don't make a song and be like,
You don't got mad people in the studio. And,
hell no. And I don't make a song and be like, damn, I want to get such and such on it.
Yeah.
Like, no, I said everything I wanted to say. You know what I mean? Like,
Song's done.
It's, you know what I mean? This is
Right.
what I want to say. This is the hook. You know what I mean?
So does this mean there'll never be a Kendrick and Cole album that everybody seems to think is happening?
Not for that reason. It's not that I wouldn't want to work with him. That's not the case. It's just
Okay.
that when I'm working on my album, it's just like, yo,
Yeah.
that's just how I operate. Like, you didn't ask Prince why he don't have no, and not comparing myself to Prince, but I'm saying,
Why him and Michael Jackson never did an
exactly.
album?
Why you ain't have Mike on the album, bro? I really think your album would be a little better if you had Mike.
Yeah, but why does everybody think that this is, and why are people confirming, some people are saying confirming that there is an album that was, even like there was Absol, somebody said, yes, they're absolutely working on an album.
Nah, he might be talking about like when we originally got up to work.
Yeah.
Like this was years ago. Like when we originally got up to work, we had we just did a few songs. Like we did a bunch of ideas, put it like that.
Right.
It was nothing like, you wouldn't call it an album, you wouldn't call it nothing like that.
So that's not a real thing. That's like some fantasy thing.
It's not. It didn't come from nowhere. It came from us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not like it's something that's actively happening.
So when the Top Dog posted like a piece of fruit, it's not the forbidden fruit.
Did that happen? Are you saying
He
that
posted the
happened?
fruit. Top Dog posted I think it was Top Dog. Somebody posted a fruit, and everybody was like, "Oh, this means the album's coming." You weren't online that day.
Nah,
You weren't
I
on
wasn't-
Twitter that
nah,
day.
I didn't see that one. But nah, they shouldn't.
They shouldn't get their hopes up.
Nah, not because it's never gonna happen, just because it's like
It's not right now.
it's not right now, and
Yeah.
I don't like teasing or playing the game because this has been going on for a minute. Like this shit is
Why?
like years in the
Why?
making.
Just because it's. Why do people do? Why?
I mean,
it's like
you
Prince,
know,
Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah, I guess it's like we did it. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like it came from nowhere. So it's like it's you know
Yeah.
I got to take blame in that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to keep teasing people and like, you know, I don't want to play with people's emotions.
If people
basically.
want that, why wouldn't you just give it to both of you?
Because it's not that easy. It's like, it's timing. This man is his own man. I'm my own man.
He has a Pulitzer Prize now,
He's a
by the
Pulitzer
way.
Prize.
He's a Pulitzer Prize
You know what I
winner.
mean? It's like-
you might not be able to get him on the phone.
Yeah, for sure. So he got like, you know, he got a career. I got a career. I got a family. He got a family.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's not as easy. It would have been easier back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it would be like, yo, you really got to block off a lot of time.
I think you should do it.
Yeah,
Do
it'd
it
be
for the
nice.
people.
All right.
Do it for the people, Cole. Okay. I'm going to take you back to the last album.
Okay.
I'm going to take you to False Prophets.
Yes.
Because this came up a lot during the recent Kanye, I don't know what that was, episode. This Kanye episode. A lot of people posted Instagram clips of you. Have you seen
Yep,
those? You've
I've
seen those.
Yep.
And then also Kanye did the interview where he said, I think it was with Charlemagne. I think he said that he felt like you had been taking digs at him in those songs for a while. But then he posted you were on the phone together. What are we to make of all of that?
Yeah. On which part?
I know.
Which part?
You've spoken clearly.
Yeah, I talked to him.
Yeah. Did you not know that picture was going up?
Of course not.
Yeah.
No way. I would have never.
Made the call. Did you make the call or he made the call?
Nah, he called me, but
Oh.
I would have never posted that or like tell him to post that. You know what I mean? I
Right.
didn't. That made me feel a certain type of way. I told him that.
Because it's private, right? It's like,
It just made me. He apologized for the
Right.
record. It's not like I'm just saying this.
right.
But then I told him like it felt like you just used my name in that very quick conversation for for social media and for like to keep your thing going, whatever you were doing, you know what I mean? And like, you know, I just felt like it wasn't sincere because of that.
What do you make of all this? And why? And what was the conversation? Because he had said a lot of people reached out to try to get him to change his stance on some of the things he was saying about Trump. And was that what your?
Sheesh.
I know this is touchy for you, but you know,
it's touchy because I never been. I don't like talking about other people. You know what I mean? Like, and if it was just me and you, no microphone, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm gonna go in on the whole situation.
okay,
But I feel hesitant to
make it a blog
go in
headline
for the public.
Yeah.
So I tread lightly if possible. But the only reason I would even feel comfortable taking it any distance, cause like, yo, I didn't even ask. You know, like you put that out there and like.
You put me in this.
Yeah, and when he called me, he said, yo, right off the rip, he was like, man, I need you to hold me accountable, keep me in check, like, say whatever you gotta say. Right. I need that. I feed off that. So like, are you sure? You know what I mean? Cause like, I see this a certain way, and I gotta. I'm first of all just a fan. That's really all I am. I don't know you. You know what I mean? I'm just like a dude that was a fan back in the days, and when I'm writing False Prophets, which that song wasn't about him. There's one verse that applies to him for sure. But if you listen to that song is about what this shit is exposing and what I got to check myself about. And I check myself on that song as well.
I love it's a brilliant song.
Where it's like, yo, celebrity worship. We're worshiping celebrities. At one point in time, I put this dude on a major pedestal, and he ain't the only one that's been there. Jay been there, you know what I mean? Pac been there, Big been there, Nas been there. It's a bunch of people that have sat on that pedestal of like, bro, you inspire me. And these kids come up to me and they tell me the same thing now. And it's like, and sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that, you inspire me, but it's when it's at an unhealthy level that I fear. And I feel like for the majority of us, our fascination and our interest in celebrities and what they do for us
it's an unhealthy level.
Is unhealthy. It's like one of those, it's like earlier when I talked about something that I want to overcome, something that I don't like. I don't like that. And being on Twitter around that time that Kanye shit was happening, which was just last week. I'm talking like it was a long time ago. But
back then? But
it exposed that part of me. There's something that I don't like about myself. Because I was in that shit too. Like, yo, what is this nigga saying? This nigga tripping. Like, but I'm in it. I'm in it. And I could feel the fact that it was impossible to look away. It's like the drinking. It's like, yo, if I can't just turn this thing off, if I can't stop looking, then I'm being controlled by this thing. And what's controlling me? Wow. My fascination with you. My fascination with celebrity. My fascination with gossip. My fascination with drama. My fascination with other people's lives.
Yeah.
Who have been deemed worthy because of the level of success or money that they've achieved. And it's like, that bothers me for myself. And it bothers me for the world too, you know what I mean? But it's not like I'm like, man, the world is fucked up. Y'all spending too much time worrying about celebrities. I'm like, nah, I'm doing this shit too. I can see it. Because I was just on Twitter like.
And by the way, you was only back on Twitter 30 seconds and you already got caught up.
And already was feeling it. So, I don't know where we originally started,
I get it.
You know, that was what, I guess False Prophets, like that's what I was trying to say. So my perspective of him is from like a dude that was a big fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's coming from a place of like, when I wrote that song, first of all, when I wrote it, when I released it, it was coming out then anyways, first of all, but maybe a month prior to that is when like, when he had like a breakdown or whatever, when he had to go, when he went to the hospital, he was on stage and whatever happened. When I wrote that song, it was January of that year. So it's not like I was like poking fun or like, no. I wrote that song based off of observations when nobody wasn't saying shit about mental health. Like, don't have a mental health conversation after somebody checked themselves into a hospital. Now you want to talk about mental health is real. mental health is real. Well, you had to wait for a nigga to check himself into the hospital to say that? Mm-hmm. You didn't say shit about mental health when this nigga ran into the water off the stage? Or when he's on stage like things to me that I looked at like, yo, bro, I'm calling people
is he all right?
close. Like, yo, is he all right? Like,
right.
When he's on stage ranting for an hour, I'm like, yo, I see a dude that's like crying out for help in a sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, and on top of that, I also feel a certain way about this other shit.
So then what do we do? Because like you said, and like I said, you're a thoughtful person. You only been back on Twitter 30 seconds and you can't help but look away. And so a lot of the conversation was like, stop supporting Kanye because he's saying this, or stop, don't do this, and we can't look. And I remember something happened in Puerto Rico that week really bad. There was some, it wasn't really riots. It was these protests that got violent in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. From my timeline, I couldn't even, nobody was talking about it. And it was really bad. You know what I mean? And I thought, I'm so busy and everybody's so busy. And I say we, I don't want to say everybody else. We're busy looking at, like, we're not even looking at other real things that are going on in the world. Mm-hmm. And then people were like, that's because everybody's too busy looking at Kanye.
Which is exactly what he got. That's what he wanted.
That's what he wanted.
100%.
So what do we do? Do we not look? What do we do? But do we help? Because we care, right? He's somebody that has inspired us. We care. We want we don't wish him bad. Mm-hmm. Well, so what do we do with when an artist disappoints us on that level, or when we are faced with I don't know the truth that this is a false, like, what do we do with false prophets? Everybody's false prophets, right?
I think there's gonna be, I think we're fucked right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I do believe, like, I feel like there's no button that we can press right now that's gonna make everybody be like, oh man, fuck these dudes, whatever myself included.
Right.
I'm guilty just by doing this interview. I'm already guilty. You know what I mean?
Why?
Because what am I doing this interview for?
To communicate to people who connect to you.
But ultimately,
album sales?
I just dropped the album.
But
it's
are
not
you
for the
really
sales.
though?
No, I'm not here for the sales, but I wouldn't be here. I didn't come when I didn't have an album out.
Yeah, but here's the difference. If we didn't have a rapport, you didn't trust me, you didn't trust the intent of this conversation, you wouldn't do it. True. That's the difference, right? So you're not gonna sit here and do anything to sell your album. You're not gonna tweet anything to sell your album.
There you go.
It's a difference.
Okay, so that's the danger in what he's doing. And I am trying to tread lightly, but the danger in what he's doing is, I feel like he's using language. I feel like he's really good at sampling language that will resonate. And it just so happens this time he sampled the wrong shit because he thought that I can make this resonate. But I'm gonna sample this, and this is gonna get me. Ultimately, the end goal is so I can be more powerful and viewed as boom, boom, boom. I'm not comfortable unless I sit in that seat. So to me, the danger is, that's cool when you're promoting fucking some fashion shit that don't really concern me and like don't really jeopardize my life as a black man, you know what I mean? Or don't really have no ramifications. Oh, go ahead. That's positive. Do what you do. Go head to head with these dudes on that level. Or when you're talking about something, but when you come and you like, and you empower a demographic of people that their whole intent is to like suppress people and oppress people. Then it's like, bro, like, I can't rock with that. Like, I can't, I have a hard time like watching that and like holding my tongue almost. It's like, damn, now you really violating. Like,
so why do you hold your tongue? Because you don't hold your tongue on a lot of things. Is that out of respect for him as an artist? Is that out of like...
it ain't that. It's not even just a respect for him as an artist, which it's more like, even this is uncomfortable for me right now because it's like, I don't like talking about anybody publicly in a negative way.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Publicly. Don't get it twisted.
Once cameras is on,
no. We in the chat right now, like, oh, this nigga, boom, boom, or whatever. But and it's not just him; it'd be whoever.
Right.
Like, oh, this nigga tripping, like, boom, boom. But publicly, it's like, yo, people don't need to see that. The only reason I make an exception right now because it's like, yo, people believe this.
Yeah.
People don't see it like how I might see it, how you might see it, and we see it two different ways. I know for sure we don't see it the same.
You and I?
No.
Really?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because I know for a fact I see it differently. But I'm saying we see it similarly.
I'm so curious. Now I'm so curious.
It
You
don't
can tell
matter.
me after.
I'll tell you after. But someone,
Please enlighten me. Because
someone else-
I'm confused a little
Okay,
bit still,
my
so
bad.
maybe that's why, yeah.
somebody else sees this as like, that's right.
Neither one of us see
Why
that.
can't we just,
Yeah.
yeah, it is love. Love is the way. Love is the answer. It's like, yeah, those are nice catchphrases. Like, and those catchphrases are true.
Or free thinking.
Yes.
Catchphrase.
Yes.
Yes.
Free thinking. But it's not free thinking. It's thinking that, no disrespect, but this is how I feel. It's thinking, it's enslaved thinking. It's thinking that's a slave to your own ego. You're not free thinking when your ego is pulling the strings. When your ego is the one that's like manipulating the conversation. Ego is tricky. Ego is a tricky thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
like, it is sneaky. It's smart. It's deceptive. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why I look out for my own life. Like, even when I say this, like, yo, this conversation, I can't hold somebody else accountable without holding myself accountable. Where it's
Yeah.
like, I have to look at my own life. Like, that's what false prophets is saying. This second and third verse. The second verse, I'm telling my homeboys, like, damn, bro, you stressing because they not feeling your shit and you can't get people to worship you. I feel you, though. Because have I sat in that same seat, if I really being honest with myself? Have I been mad because it's like, man, they not praising me like they, that's ego. The third verse is me talking, going into that even more. So I'm not holding somebody else accountable and not holding myself. I got to ask myself these same questions.
Yeah.
And somebody should feel free to hold me accountable the same way. And everybody that's in a public space, hold them accountable. From the president to your mayor to your favorite rapper to your favorite singer. What is the intention behind this? You know what I mean? And like, what's the balance of like selfish versus like, versus like the world? And I feel like the danger there is that there are people that are like, Kanye's for the people. And it's like, all right,
Right.
maybe he is,
Right.
but I don't know.
There's that whole free thinking thing. I thought about that a lot and realized that, like, I started thinking about what is the space between like free thinking and social responsibility. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
What
like,
is free thinking though? Exactly. You see that face you just made?
Well, because it's free thinking, but with intent. Well, what is the it's not about what is free thinking. It is about what is the intention
Right.
about the words that you're putting that label on.
Word.
Free thinking is, to me, being able to have thoughts and questions and saying them without the fear of social media, whatever opinions, blah, 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 blah. But again, it's tricky because then you say, is that a catchphrase, like you say?
Mm-hmm.
Or are these really thoughts that you are having with the intention of opening people's minds?
Right.
Seeing, it's
Have
like,
you spent time with these thoughts? Have you challenged yourself and have you challenged these thoughts? Have you, like, what you just said, like free speech? Yeah, we know, but free thinking, I don't even know what free thinking is. I don't even know if we were using that word 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know if somebody was like, man, I really love free thinking. Don't impeach on my free thinking. I don't know if anybody was saying that, but it's a nice catchphrase.
It's a good catchphrase.
That's very easy to catch on to.
Yeah.
Like, make America great again. Who don't want to make America great again? Like, if you really look at the phrase, but when you bust that phrase down and see what's underneath it,
Yeah.
it's like, well, what do you mean, make America great again? When was America great? What era are you talking about?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
What?
Right.
What is, like, be careful of catchphrases.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, shit be sounding good, but it's like, what's at the heart of it? The intent, like you said. What's the intention here? Is it for the people or is it for this one person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not just him. Donald Trump is to me, Trump is like a similar figure where it's like, this is a dude who the only end goal is I gotta be the man, period. Mm-hmm. Everything I do just has to ensure that I'm the man. Oh, y'all don't think I can be president? Watch this. Watch these catchphrases I throw at these white people who I really don't give a fuck about. I don't care about these poor farmers and, you're poor. You're in Ohio.
Right.
You think Donald Trump, you think I give a fuck about you? No, but I can use you. If I hit you with these cool catchphrases that you can grab onto and latch onto, and I say enough shit that you believe in me, you think these people think that, like, Donald Trump don't like them? You think that they think that he's not for the people? These people will swear, like, shit could get ugly because these people care about him so much. Like, let them try to impeach him or something. Like, shit is dangerous because that's how much they believe in him. Now, on this side, we know, like, you can't see that this dude is an egomaniac who only cares about himself. No, I can't see that because he's used all the language that makes me believe in him. What are you talking about? You're just a liberal. You're just a boom. And I don't even fuck with none of them. Either one of those sides. You know what I mean? It's like, I think there's manipulation maybe in both. I just resonate. I know what resonates with me and what don't. You know what I mean? Like, I just use him as an example of somebody that's like, those people are dangerous to me.
Yeah.
They're dangerous because
Manipulative.
And
Hashtags.
yeah.
Coin phrases for, it's
Yeah.
manipulative. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, Cole.
But yeah, I didn't want to.
No, it was good though. I need it. Because this is what everybody's talking about. This is what everybody cares about and is talking about.
Everybody asked me too, like, you know, just regular people I know, like,
What do you think about that?
Nah, did Kanye really call you? Oh, how did the conversation go? I was like, you know, I see how much people give a fuck about that story. You know how big it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, do I keep my mouth shut? I would feel like a liar. You know
Also,
what I mean?
if you keep your mouth shut, then you allow that to be the only narrative.
Yes. I feel like a culprit. I feel
A
like
little bit.
I feel like I got used as a pawn, and then that somehow it looks like I agree with what this dude is saying and agree with what he's doing and the way he's going about it, and really that's very far from the case. I actually, on the phone, was concerned for him. That's the real truth. I was wondering, like, yo, am I supposed to be helping this dude? Like, I was just doing a lot of listening and then asking questions here and there when I could get in. You know what I mean? Of like, but more like the questions I was asking were trying to like dive deeper into like what's happening under the surface. You know what I mean? But you know, somebody like that, they very good at like changing the topic. Boom, I want to take it over here. So by the time you get to the fifth thing, I'm still trying to go back. Well, let's talk about that first thing you talked about.
Yeah.
So that was the gist of the conversation. Me listening, trying to ask questions and steer it. And when I got off the phone, I'm like, damn, am I supposed, like, is God doing this because I'm supposed to like offer some help? Like anything that I can offer, just a voice,
Another perspective.
trying to like, not even to tell him anything, but just ask certain questions that can like maybe provoke him to look at something like he answer his own questions.
So what do we do with artists when they disappoint us on those type of levels? And it doesn't have to be Kanye, because, like, you know, I saw this whole like mute R. Kelly movement where they do things that are morally, you know, unthinkable or whatever. Like, what happens to those artists, or what do we do? How do we?
I don't really know the answer. I mean, what we currently do is nothing. We currently, like, we talk about it, there's an outrage, and then a hit can fix that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like, that's what we currently do. You can speak about it. Do you stop supporting me? That's the problem. There's always gonna be, not always, because I feel like, you know, 1,000 years from now, there won't even be celebrities. You know, 1,000, 2,000, whoever knows.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I 100% believe.
Oh, I want to hear that
if it's not
theory.
1,000, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
But I'll get right back to that then. I just feel like until that day comes, there's always gonna be people who believe in this person so much, which is the root problem to me.
False prophets.
Myself included.
It's a brilliant
You can't
song.
believe in me.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't know me. Even though somebody like me who put so much into this, you still don't know me. I could be lying. Everything I say could be a fucking lie. I could be the greatest.
You could go punch some old lady in the face
Yes.
on the walkout.
I could be the terrible person.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I know how to spin it right, then what do?
Right.
But yet you putting your faith in me, and and guess what? This is the problem, even the more underlying problem, because I've been in that seat too. The only type of person that puts that level of belief and faith in a person, a celebrity, because there's people out there that like don't care. You know what I mean? They just treat it like, oh, it's just entertainment. I'm not going to these people for like life advice or like whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are people out there. I feel like the only type of person that does that, because I was in that seat, is an unhealthy person. And I don't mean that judgment, like, oh, you're unhealthy. No, somebody like me when I was a kid, like, there's holes here. There's like insecurity issues. There's trauma from here. There's boom, boom. And it's like having believing in, it's a real life superhero. With Batman and Superman, or even Black Panther now, it's like, I know they fake. It's one thing to believe in them, you know what I mean, like root for them, but I know they fake. I know that Jay-Z is real. he real, because he just came to North Carolina and did a show. I couldn't afford the ticket, but I know he was in that building.
Yeah.
He's real.
Yeah.
So it takes somebody who's vulnerable and like broken and gives them some a way to like plug that hole. Even there's kids that like love me, love my music, and it's like to them I represent something more than just the music.
What do you say to them?
I say to them that like I don't want that to be the case. I don't want to mean that much to you, not because I don't care about you, but because I actually care about you. I want you to get to a place where no artist, celebrity, even person in your life can have that much meaning to you where it like dominates your life. You know what I mean? Where it's like, no, I feel like even in a relationship, if this was just like a relationship between man and woman, I feel like, you know, the majority of our relationships today are, I need you. And I need you too. And when this shit crackles and unravel, you do something I don't agree with, shit goes so bad because now all my holes start to get re-exposed. The holes that I didn't plug up, you starting to make me feel not having you, because you was plugging my hole, now I got to sit with this hole again. That's why I get so violent with this relationship and why this shit gets loud and we start arguing because I don't want you to leave me. And it's like, so to that person, it's like, yo, I don't want to fill your hole. Not because, you know, I don't care about you. It's not like I want you to go fill your hole with something else. I want you to fill your hole.
Don't let Kendrick go fill your hole either.
Yeah, exactly. But not because he's not great, but because you should fill this hole through like,
I get it.
Through like self-love and like self, like building yourself back up. You know what I mean? Which is something that like we all got to work. I'm not sitting here like, man, I built myself up and here I go here to tell you how it works. No, I'm still building. You know what I mean? And like, I'm better than I was 3 years ago.
Yeah. But
I want to be better than I am right now, 3 years from now and 30 years from now.
Well, that's how you serve, right? You serve by not being the prophet, but you serve by, well, you kind of are a prophet, sorry, but you serve by living your truth, right? And sharing your truth.
Right.
Because then that gives them information.
That's real.
So even if they don't do it exactly how you do it or exactly how you say it, you give them the information on how you do it, and then that serves. That's an honest way to, you know what I mean, to deliver.
I can stand behind that.
Yeah.
Confidently and say that, I didn't mislead you. I didn't manipulate you. I'm getting something out of this deal. This is capitalism. I'm selling music, boom, boom. But I know for a fact that the words that I'm speaking to you, when I speak, I know it. It's resonating right now when I talk. It's like, oh, I'm speaking to you my truth. Like, I'm not doing this to harm you, to mislead you, to boost myself up. It's because, shit, you just told me earlier, Cole, you got to do more interviews. And people be telling me that. I'm like, okay. All right. And then when I do them, I realize, like, okay, this interview might help somebody. Somebody might be like, damn, I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. Boom. And there we go.
I think it's important when you do them.
But it's good because like I sit with remember how earlier you was talking about the last interview? You was like, yo, it just went all the.
It had like legs.
You asked me, are there things I want to talk about?
Yeah.
And I was like, nah.
No.
But yet, all this shit comes out because all I do is like sit on this shit and like just be thinking about this shit. Like sometimes I might get to have a conversation with somebody where this comes out, but it's like I do put it like this. These are nice for me, I'm realizing right now as we speak, because in my life, I do a lot of listening. And I don't find many, like, you know, in my relationship, in my friendships, I do a lot of listening to like people's days, things that happen in their life. And I'm working on myself, trying to like make sure that like I get my shit out there too. And because I do a lot of processing in here and then it just never makes it out. It's like a chore to like tell somebody like, well, this happened, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But I'm realizing that this is nice because I do so much listening that talking is like, this feels good.
Get that
you know
off.
what I mean?
Get that
Hell
off.
yeah.
And it also reinforces your own thoughts when you say them out loud. It's like you have to become like almost accountable for the things you say.
Yeah, like, did that sound good coming out loud? Like,
yeah. 1985.
Hard.
So hard.
Thank you.
And I so appreciate it. But the interesting thing is, as much as I appreciate it, my son, who is 14, you know, this is like, I hear it blasting from his room.
Really?
Which is really dope to me. I love when me and my kid like the same song. Because it's like, you know, it doesn't happen all the time. I have my artist, he has his artist, which is good because he puts me up on some of the little people, the little such and suches,
like
the
them.
littles, right? But that, I hear it coming from his room and also then from my room too, which is really dope.
That's crazy.
But then it also prompted responses. right? Which you knew it would, right? You make a song like that, you know that people are gonna feel a way, or I know it came from good intentions. I feel like it was smart and well done and thoughtful.
Thank you.
But not everybody perceives it that way.
Yeah, I didn't give too much thought to that. Like, yo, such and such is going, or they gonna feel. It was just like, yo,
Yeah.
it was inspired.
It is what it is.
And it needed to be heard.
Yeah.
And I put it out, and then whatever happens is cool.
Did somebody call you and tell you that they were saying "fuck J. Cole" at one of the concerts?
Yeah. No, I seen that one actually.
You saw it on the
on the Twitters.
What does that feel like? Is that weird?
Let me think about it.
Is it confusing?
It's not confusing because I think I've spent enough time seeing what's going on and what's brewing, like with kids, to like understand it. You know what I mean? In a sense where it's like, if I didn't understand it, it would feel like, yo, why y'all saying fuck me? Like, what you mean? You know what I mean?
Right, well, because you're calling them out on certain things that they probably enjoying doing right now, and they don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
I don't even know if it's like calling them out. It's more like, well, yeah, I guess it is. I don't know. It's more like, yo, because the reason why I wrote that is like that fuck J. Cole chant you seen, that was, I don't know if you know, but that was prominent for like at least a year before that song came out.
Was it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you didn't know. Yeah.
No, I had heard that it had happened at a couple of those concerts, but I didn't know like for a year.
There was a whole energy happening, which this was new to me.
Why are they mad? Well, how was they mad at you?
I don't know.
Because you make sense and you speak in full sentences?
I don't know. But it was to the point where like there's a store out in LA where they do a podcast there, and like a bunch of these people like hang out.
Right.
You know, like those type of rappers or whatever. Like where that energy was coming from.
Right.
And like I was genuinely confused, like, yo, why they saying this? Who's saying this?
And what
and is it for real?
Right.
So I pulled up to the store, like where they be at, just to like check it out. Like be like, yo, and I'm prepared. Like I'm like, yo, when I walk in the store, it might be some like somebody trying to fight me or something, because the energy was like, fuck J. Cole. Like I'm like, but it's cool. I have to go see if it's real and how real it is. And I got to be prepared.
Wait, what place is this? It's like a store?
It's a store. They do a
they podcast from there.
They do a podcast from there. It's, No Jumper.
Got it.
So
you popped up.
I popped up where the store is, just to see like, yo, this is the focal point of this. This is somewhere I can go where I know these people be at, right?
Right.
Like either the artists themselves or like fans of them.
Right.
This is like a hub for this.
The people that were in the crowd, probably.
Yeah, or they know about it.
Yeah.
So I walk up just to see like, yo, I walk in the store, look around, and all it was.
Are you like mobbed up? Are you like with security?
No,
like who?
If you call Eve a mob. But I go in there just to like see what it is in person, and like everybody that's in there is like, oh shit, J. Cole, bro, I love your shit, bro. Right, lights, boom, boom. So after like the fifth person to do that, I'm like, oh, okay, this is like, oh, it's marketing.
Right.
Like it's just a ploy. It's like a marketing ploy. I understood it better then. I'm like, oh, this is like, it's trolling. Mm-hmm. We're in the age of trolling.
Yeah.
We're in the generation of trolling. These kids have figured something out. They figured out that attention.
It goes back to a lot of the things we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Attention is all that matters. The skill, there's a skill, the quality, fuck about quality. The what are y'all talking about? No, all that matters is attention. This music is just a platform for me to get attention. And what's even more important than the music is the shit that I do outside of the music. What type of wild shit can I cook up? What type of wild shit can I say just to get the attention? We are living in the Donald Trump era. You know what I mean? Of like, yo, just do the wild. And I'm not saying Donald Trump started this, but this is the era.
It's all Donald Trump's fault.
This is the era we living in, and that's what them
Right.
kids understand. So that to me,
Yeah.
I look at it in the same lens of like, yo, these people, it's a couple artists that like came up off my name on some fuck J. Cole shit. Like they got more and more popular based off of that.
Have you met any of them?
Not yet. Tonight I'm gonna meet them.
Tonight? Oh, because you're going to Rolling Loud.
Rolling Loud.
They're
This
going to
is
be
the hub
there.
for them. They're gonna be there.
I think, and Pump is performing. Lil Pump is performing
Yeah, I'm not
tonight
sure
too,
if
or
it's tonight.
tomorrow?
Yeah, he's out here though.
But what is your feel? There's no like, what is your feeling towards them? You know what I mean? Is it like a?
I love them.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It is really like a genuine like. First of all, I fuck with them. I actually fuck with their music.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like I actually like. I don't. It's not like I drive around and listen to it, but I've spent time like listening and being like, yo, this is fun. it ain't about shit and it don't matter, but this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it might be at the cost of something. There might be some detrimental effects, you know what I mean? Somewhere down the line.
1985.
1985.
Right.
But I can't deny the fact that, like, what I'm gonna say, this don't make me do this.
Yes,
you know
it
what I mean?
does. Right.
You know, so it's like,
Yeah.
that's first of all. Second of all, I look at them as like, man, I can't imagine. First of all, I can't imagine. But it wasn't as extreme for me, but I could put myself in the shoes of them and think that, like, man, to want fame so bad and to want attention so bad, especially at such a young age. And I ain't gonna lie, when I was 15, 16,
Similar place,
I was
right?
calling No Limit hotline when I was like 12 years old. No Limit used to have their phone numbers on the back of their albums. I was calling the hotline, like, rapping on the phone, telling them like, yo, P, I got ideas for videos, boom, boom, boom. So clearly I had a desire there too, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that desire of to want like fame, to want success. And as I got older, my real desire was just to be respected on some music shit. But there was still a very strong desire and to me, it all comes from like
Filling the holes.
filling a hole. So to want to go that hard at 16, 17, 18, to become famous and to want it so bad that you're willing to do whatever. The 6ix9ine kid, like, he's willing to do whatever, say whatever, because he wants it that bad. And in a way, I'm like,
You almost, it's like you
you got kind of respect it because
Yes.
he knows what he's doing. But
disagree with a lot of things
But
and
imagine-
and the manner in which, but also fascinated
fascinated.
at the
Can't look away.
at the will and the
Yeah.
right. I feel you.
But the amount of pain and trauma or the has to be so intense for you to take it to those levels to attain that and to get that, to want that, whether it's money, the fame, something. I got it. If I don't plug my hole with that, no, I don't. It's not even an option. I'm gonna do whatever, cause I gotta feel this shit. I can't feel like no fucking lame no more. I can't. My mom gotta know I'm good enough. Or I'm gonna show my dad. Boom, boom, boom. These are just lines that might not be none of that. Might be some whole other deeper, darker shit. But it's like, so when I see them, I see like, I hear music that's fun. But I see kids that's like, I don't know what, maybe you come from a great family, everything was perfect. But I empathize with you because I see you want it so bad and I can't imagine why. You know what I mean? I would love to find out why. I would love to peel back your life and be like, what's under there? And even if I never get the chance to do that with you, I hope one day you figure, like, I hope one day you get to that place where it's like, let me start dealing with that, peeling that back, seeing what's under there. What's pulling my strings? What's forcing me to want this shit so bad that I do this?
Yeah.
And we're to blame as a society because like we promote that. I mean, obviously we were born into this, but we promote that and we award that. We award a certain monetary level that you hit. We award a certain amount of followers that you hit. We award a certain amount of clout that you get.
Yeah, the whole system that we operate on is like
we support it.
Yeah.
We can't look away. A video come up right now, somebody put a video in the chat, this little rapper do this, boom, boom, boom. I'm clicking that shit. I want to figure out how to be free from that
It's
drama.
so much harder to, I don't know, it's just so much harder to operate in this system with integrity because it's harder. It's harder to get the click. It's harder to get people's attention. It's
Yes.
harder to get people to mob up or to,
Yes.
it's harder.
And guess what it comes back to?
What?
We did this the last time.
It's so good. What?
But it's capitalism.
Yes.
It awards fuckery. The trick of capitalism, and it's being exposed right now, is that all attention is capital. That shit is gonna equate to dollars. You know
Clicks.
what I mean? So what
Capital.
do I gotta do to get attention? I could go on the street right now and do the wildest shit. And I got that attention, which ultimately that's what capitalism teaches us, like marketing. You know what I mean? Like marketing is a product of capitalism. And like we don't want to, like even for your job, it's like you can't just disconnect and unplug from that. Like, yo, I got to stay up on this shit. Like I got to get the clicks too. And it's like, ultimately this shit come down to money. And we, you know, we promote that.
So the answer is to not give things attention. It's just hard to do.
So like I was saying earlier, I don't think we're even close to that. I think we're thousands of years away from that.
When nobody's a celebrity.
Yep, and thousands of years, I think nobody's a celebrity. I think because I feel like as a race, as a species, I feel like we're spiritually like children. Like spiritually, we are like if this was infinity from here to here, and this end was like, you know, towards the back end of infinity, which is impossible. But like, you know, spiritually, this is when humans existed, and this is when we'll cease to exist on this end. I feel like we're like here spiritually in terms of like how evolved we are or whatever, right? So because of that, we look to men and women as heroes, as like people to look up to, you know what I mean? Because we have our own holes, and like when we look at them, they give us this perception that everything's perfect and they're a superhero and boom, boom, which is not the case. But I think in the future, everybody grows more awareness and consciousness, and like we just become like I feel like we're gonna be an enlightened species.
I wish I could be here for that.
Yeah, I feel like you will be.
In another form.
You won't be as Angie, but you maybe.
I hope so. You know, I would like to experience that in some way.
Me too.
In some way.
But I feel like when we get there, everyone will know what this is. Yeah. Spiritually, everyone will know like, why would I praise you or idolize you when you're the exact same as me? We are literally from the same source. We're literally the same thing. Why would I? Now, we don't understand that now. And even I'm telling it to you, and it resonates as the truth to me.
Yeah, and you're about to go get on the stage, and people are going to be like,
and they're all like, go. And I'm going to be on stage and be like, they fuck with this song. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm telling you as like, this is my belief, but I'm not there myself. You know what I mean? Even though I recognize it to be true, it's not practiced. It's not, I haven't hit that level where it's like, you know, I've unplugged. Maybe my next life, you know what I mean? Or maybe generations down. But I do believe that that's where we headed.
Where are you going to be in your next life? You have any idea if you could choose?
I'm going to a HBCU in my next life.
Are you?
I just know that for a fact.
Okay, all right.
I feel like, yo, I want that experience. Like my homeboys, some of my homeboys went, and like I used to just go.
My
and have
godson's
such a good
just
time.
got accepted. He's going to Morehouse.
Oh my God!
I'm so excited for him.
So I know so I'm definitely gonna be black in my next life.
You're gonna be black.
Unless I'm like
the white guy at
that Asian kid at the HBCU. But nah.
That's so funny. So you're going. So tonight is Rolling Loud. He's gonna hit the stage there, and then you're going the KOD tour, which you chose Young Thug for, which I thought was an interesting pick. What made you pick him?
He's just, you know,
dope.
Yeah, he's just ill. Like I did get the feedback on that mad people were surprised. Yeah. I actually didn't know that until you know, my little sister was like, what made you take Young Thug on tour? And then I heard from Eve, he was like, yo, you know, people are like kind of bugging out that you took Thug. Like either they hate it or they love it. They like, oh, it's genius, boom, boom. But really it's just like, yo, the nigga's dope. Like what, you know, so they assume from like, oh, I did see somebody say, how you gonna pick Thug when your whole album is against mumble rap? First of all, my album ain't against nothing. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're talking about 1985, that's just a message to these dudes that has something to say about me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But my album is against nothing. My shit is if anything, it's inspired by these dudes. If you listen to the flows and the patterns and the production, it's like these dudes inspired that form. That's the form I took to get this message off on this album.
Got it.
It's not against nothing. And if you want to talk about Young Thug as like an artist, he's an innovator. Like if you know skills, you can call him a mumble rapper all you want, but if you know skills and you know like the art of rapping and you know like how you put words together and you know pockets and you know flows and you know the things he's doing with his voice, the dude is a genius. You know what I mean? So like to me it's like, y'all are tripping.
Why wouldn't I have?
But it's like, oh, did I do this to myself? Did I unknowingly create a perception that I'm somehow above that? You know what I mean? When in reality it's like, nah, that's not what I meant to. You know, that's not what I meant to do. Right. But if it is, then that's not the case.
You don't look at yourself as a different level of artist than a Young Thug.
No.
Yeah. And then there's a festival, right? You're doing a Dreamville festival?
Yes.
And so who's going on that? Everybody?
Um,
Do you know yet?
we're gonna announce it soon.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
like, don't make me announce something I'm not ready to announce it. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we announce it soon.
And is there another album coming like right away?
Oh,
Because you kind of teased
I'm gonna drop
that,
more music for sure.
but it's not an album.
The album that I was talking about, you talking about the Fall Off?
Yes.
That's that probably won't come for another year. I've
Okay.
been working on it though for like a year and a half. The False Prophets was supposed to be on the Fall Off. Everybody Dies in False Prophets that I put out before For Your Eyes Only were songs from the Fall Off. But
So you just have songs that like sit. That,
oh yeah, I'm working on. I got Kill Elway album I'm working on, which I'm mad excited about.
What does that sound like? What is that?
The future. It's crazy.
Will you have a cameo on that album? You should put Young
Maybe.
Thug on that album.
Yeah, it'd be hard. So I'm working on that. I'm working on the Fall Off, and then I think I have an EP for the Fall Off. I don't know how and I got more music,
Yeah.
and I just like, yo, before I'm done, I want to make sure I release. You know, I don't want to like look back 20 years and have a big vault of music that I didn't put out, especially when it's songs that I love. You know what I mean? They might not be like the album bar, but it's like, yo, I love that song. I love what I'm saying on it. So I'm trying to find a way to like
Get those out.
get those out. So.
You know, I know you directed your own videos, and you also directed that Royce the 5'9" video.
Yeah.
And you're doing like all these. Did you always do that?
It started with apparently, first of all,
Right. Okay.
I did ATM. Scott Laser, who does, he's like in-house
yes.
Dreamville director, he's a genius. Did ATM.
Got it.
And I just co-directed that with him, meaning like, you know, sitting by our side being like, boom, boom.
Right.
Like, yo, let's do that, or don't forget about this, or whatever the case is. But that was his idea front to back.
Got it.
Kevin's
Which is so
Heart
it's so
is
good.
so fire.
It's so good.
Kevin's Heart was my idea. As soon as I did the song, I had an idea for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then so was the Royce video. So those were the two first videos that I've like myself been like, yo, I got the idea. I want to see this come to life, and I'm there for every shot. You know, like making sure.
Yeah,
directing
Royce told
the
me you were
actors.
in the edit, that you stayed.
Oh,
you
yeah.
were like,
Nah,
I was like, was he
yeah.
like a real director, or was he
No,
like?
it's like I'm
yeah.
in the editing room.
Yeah.
Crazy, even for ATM. You
Yeah.
know, like even though I didn't, direct that outright with Scott, I'm in the editing room like the director. You know what I mean?
Do you see
To
that
me,
as
that's the funnest process.
Do you see that as a thing for you? That
100%.
maybe you could.
Because I want to direct.
Yeah.
I want to write movies. I want to try my hand at acting.
You want to act, Cole? What would you be? What would you do? Like what?
I have no clue. I might suck.
You're gonna write a script, right?
That's 100% gonna happen.
You're gonna totally write a script. You're gonna be in the movie. You can't direct your first movie that you're in
Why not?
because.
What if I'm not in it crazy? If it's like a Spike Lee.
All right, then maybe.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't direct. No. I wouldn't do that. I see what you're saying.
Because I don't think you could kill that both sides
No,
of
that
the.
would be exhausting. By the way, I shot a
Hilarious.
video for somebody the other day. It wasn't my song. It was just a feature. And I was like, damn, I be working too hard. Because it felt so good to just show up to the shoot and have somebody tell you like, yo, do this on
And
this
you were
part.
like- you were like,
I was just
okay.
like, I was just performing. And like, there was some acting scenes and shit. And I
Right.
was like, man, I be doing
What
too
was
much.
it?
I can't say it because
Okay.
it's not announced yet. But
Okay, but a feature,
yeah,
cameo.
it's a feature. Yeah, so
So we'll see more of that. I see that for you, like just
Thank you.
the vision that you have that could see movies and
yep.
stuff
I've
like
been
that.
wanting to do that for a long time, and this is the time.
Did you see the Donald Glover video? Of
Oh
course
my
you
God,
did.
Yeah.
Amazing, right?
It's insane. That video is incredible.
It's so good.
It's crazy.
How many times did you watch it?
I watched like 3 times.
You did?
But
Okay.
like back to back to back.
Right.
And that never happens. If I check something out, that never happens. If I check something out, it's like, oh, I might not even make it through the whole video.
Right.
I watched that joint 3 times.
The full thing is so
Full
good,
jump.
right?
Yes.
What do you feel? What is inspiring you right now? Like other artists, things that people are doing.
Right now, like immediately nothing, because I just finished the album and I'm kind of like climbing back in. Like I just made a few beats the other day, wrote a couple rhymes, but like I haven't found, like I'm just starting. Okay, my tank was on E, and I'm just starting to fill it back up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like as we currently speak, nothing. But
Really?
like nothing current.
Right.
I'm still on like jazz samples and like, you know, and I'm transitioning.
I feel like you were listening to Tribe when you made this album.
This last one?
Yeah. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting though. I
The-
was really
the,
listening to that for the fall off.
Choose Wisely reminded me of
Oh, 100%.
a
Yeah.
Tribe
Yep.
nod.
Yep.
Mhm. which I love as a theme for the album.
Thank
The
you.
choose wisely thing.
That's
I think
it.
that should have been the name of the album. You know what I'm saying? So good.
Thank you.
So good.
The reason why I like Choose Wisely is because it's empowering, and it's also cautionary. But then it's like if you don't choose wisely, you make a mistake. Like my man that I told you sent me the IG post. It's like or IG DM. If he slips up, which is like natural.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he feels like he has an addiction and he's trying to stop, like, you know, you could only assume that maybe he would have a slip up. If he does,
Choose wisely.
the reason why I like Choose Wisely is because it's like, yo, you get another choice. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all or nothing. It's not like, yo, I popped the perk, like, I fucked
What's
up.
wrong with you?
Nah, it's like, bro, it's cool. Choose wisely. Like, you got another shot. It's an empowering
It is.
statement. It puts the power, like, in your hands, and it's like, you always got the choice to, like, you know, it's not, nothing's final.
Yeah.
You always got a chance today to, like, be the person you want to be.
It's really good. Maybe that'll be the name of your movie.
What's that?
Choose wisely.
I like that.
Of your script, working title.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yes.
Good. This time, you happy? I'm talking about like like life, music, how this album has been perceived.
The album is it's funny because my life is
You're a
mad
dad.
blessed. Yeah,
You're a dad.
my life is mad blessed, and my only stresses I notice come from. It's a deeper conversation about purpose, so it's like I just got done doing this album, where every day I have purpose. You know, beyond like clearly my obvious purpose is as a father, as a husband. I got purpose on a more selfish level, right? But I feel like I've created a life where my purpose is too much placed in music. Where like I put too much of my purpose in music to where when I'm home and I come home, outside of like playing with my son, if I go 3 days without doing music, making a beat, writing a song, I start to feel like miserable. And I feel like it's because I haven't found purpose or placed purpose in other things. I don't care if it's taking out the garbage, doing the lawn. Like there's certain things, or there's certain things that,
Maintaining a household.
yes, there's certain things that people excuse you from doing when you're chasing something, or like you have a career like this, where it's like, you know, I got people that handle my business, my affairs. I was with Kevin Hart when we were shooting the video. This dude is approving all his invoices, looking over all his checks,
Wow.
breaking down the budgets to me, and it's just like, in that one act, there's so much purpose in that act. He's decided that this is important to me because, what? This feed my family. I remember a time when I couldn't get these checks, so I want to make sure that every dollar that I'm owed is coming to me. I'm assuming. I'm just putting words in his mouth. But regardless, there's purpose behind that act, right? With me, I feel like I need to literally restart and find purpose in like small things, whether it's that, approving all my checks that are going out. Right now, it's like my wife is doing that, and like I'm cool with that. Like, oh, she's on it. But it's like I just gave up something that I could have had purpose in doing. I gave it away.
But you can't do everything. But you also can't do everything.
I'm not saying that I can't.
Right.
What I'm saying is I can't just do one thing and then be a dad and a husband. No, I want to do
because the
mad
second
shit.
that doesn't do exactly what you wanted
Then
to do.
I'm miserable. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. That's what I'm saying. If I go 3-4 days without
Yes.
making a song and like I start, I'm like, yo, that's
You put too much weight.
Yeah, exactly. I'm putting too much weight on these things when it's like, yo, I want to I go play ball too. Like I want to just play, and this is just the most recent pocket because I just dropped the album, so I'm noticing it. But you know, it wasn't like this last year when I was just
In the crib.
in the crib chilling. But the fact that I'm noticing it, it gives me an opportunity of like correction,
Yeah.
figuring out what that's coming from,
So
and then
dope.
ultimately my findings were that like, yo, I need to find purpose in smaller things and build up from there.
I'm so happy that with this happened today. Thank you for
You, this was
calling me
awesome.
and trusting me. And
People got to know too, like you were already in Miami. We just called you last minute.
he
This
was
is
like,
perfect.
can you come to Miami? I was like, I'm already in Miami. It's just
It's Crazy.
when shit is meant to happen.
For real. Thank you, Ange.
Cole.